5 signs of a toxic and evil person. From the perspective of Stoicism, the highest goal is to remain centered, calm, steady, and unshaken even when the world around you descends into chaos. But does that mean we walk through life blind, pretending not to see the reality of human nature? Absolutely not. The Stoics warned us to observe life with clarity, to sharpen our perceptions so that we are not easily deceived. Because while some people are merely lost, broken, or misguided, there are others whose hearts are darker, those who choose cruelty, deception, and manipulation as their way of living. These are the ones who wear charm like a mask. They smile, they flatter, they seem trustworthy. Yet behind that mask lies something far more dangerous: control, destruction, and intent to harm. Stoicism teaches us not to rush into judgment, but it also teaches us to see clearly, to know when we are standing in the presence of someone whose energy is poisonous. And that's why, in today's video on Stoic True Wisdom, we'll uncover 5 unmistakable signs that reveal when you are dealing with a toxic and evil person. Recognizing these signs is not about judging others, it's about protecting your own light, your own peace, and refusing to let your energy be drained by those who only seek to feed on it. Sign number 1. They twist the truth to control you. If someone can control the way you see reality, they can control your mind. This is one of the very first red flags of a toxic soul. They rarely lie outright. Instead, they distort. They bend your words, shift blame, and plant subtle doubts deep into your thoughts. Suddenly, you find yourself apologizing for things you never even did. You start questioning your own memory. You feel guilty, confused, unstable. This tactic has a name: gaslighting, and it is one of the most dangerous weapons an evil person can use. Why? Because it doesn't break your bones, it breaks your confidence. It doesn't wound your body, poisons your mind. And once your clarity is shaken, you become vulnerable to their control. A Stoic mind is built on truth and clarity. So the moment you notice that you are losing your sense of stability and certainty around someone, pause. Step back. Ask yourself, why do I feel confused only when I'm with this person? Why do I doubt myself in their presence? If these questions ring true, you may be standing in the shadow of someone toxic, someone who thrives by keeping you lost in confusion. Sign number 2. They always pretend to be the victim. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "He who does wrong is more unfortunate than he who suffers it." Watch closely how such people tell their stories. In their version, they are always the one who was hurt, the one who was betrayed, the one who was misunderstood. But here's the twist: look closely, and you'll see the truth hidden in plain sight. Behind every sob story they tell, there's a trail of broken people left behind. Friends they once used, lovers they discarded, allies they manipulated and then abandoned. The toxic person feeds on sympathy. Why? Because sympathy is their greatest weapon. Once they convince others that they are the victim, they gain the freedom to act as the villain while still wearing the mask of the hero. Do not fall for it. The Stoic way is to pierce through illusions, to look at actions rather than words. If every story they tell somehow ends with them as the misunderstood innocent one, then you are not listening to truth. You are listening to a carefully rehearsed script. 3. They drain your energy, but disguise it as love, loyalty, or friendship. Seneca once said, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." Yet toxic people do the opposite. They don't shout their evil, they whisper it. They cling to you, weigh you down, and suffocate your spirit. Call it care. They message you endlessly, expect your time, your help, your presence, without ever giving back. And what happens to you? You're left anxious, restless, always walking on eggshells, as if your peace is a luxury you no longer deserve. This is not love. This is not friendship. This is emotional possession. A toxic person doesn't want a relationship with you. They want ownership of you. They don't honor your peace, your growth, or your freedom. They want to cage it, control it, and consume it. But a Stoic knows that true bonds are built on respect, not fear. They are rooted in freedom, not in silent obligation. Ask yourself, does this person lift me higher, or do they drain me until nothing is left? If they leave you weaker instead of stronger, that person is not your ally. They are your poison. 4. They take pleasure in watching others suffer. This one is difficult to admit, but absolutely vital to recognize. Some people don't just fail to support others, they actively celebrate their downfall. They smile when someone stumbles. They whisper gossip about another's pain. They mock the weak as if weakness is something to laugh at. This is not mere insecurity, it is corruption of the soul. Evil is not always loud or violent. Sometimes it reveals itself quietly, through a cruel smirk when someone else fails, or a laugh when another is humiliated. But remember, a Stoic takes no joy in the suffering of others, not even in the pain of an enemy. Why? Because pain is universal. To mock pain is to strip yourself of compassion, to forfeit your own humanity. If you notice someone who delights in cruelty, don't hesitate, distance yourself. That is not just toxicity. That is spiritual decay. 5. They try to isolate you from others. Marcus Aurelius once said, "He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe." But a toxic person will fight to prevent you from living in harmony with anyone but them. This, perhaps, is the most dangerous sign of all. They want you alone. Why? Because isolation gives them control. When you have no other voices around you, their voice becomes absolute. They will chip away at your relationships, one by one. They'll plant doubts about your closest friends, whisper negativity about your family, and convince you that no one understands you the way they do. And once you believe that, once you see them as your only source of support, they no longer just influence you, they own you. This is not random behavior. It is a calculated tactic, used time and time again by narcissists and abusers. Why? Because they know a simple truth. An isolated man is a weakened man. When you have no support, no brothers by your side, no circle to keep you steady, you become easier to control. And control is their ultimate goal. But a Stoic does not fall into this trap. A Stoic stands firm within the fortress of his own soul. He builds walls of wisdom and gates of discipline. He chooses strong companions, cultivates bonds that elevate, and protects the circle that nurtures his growth. He knows that no single person, especially one who thrives on control, should ever become his entire world. You are not here to save toxic people. You are not here to absorb their poison like an emotional sponge. Your purpose is higher, nobler, untouchable. You are here to walk the path of wisdom, of virtue, of strength. And you must guard that path with vigilance. Understand this, evil rarely reveals itself with horns or fire. No, it is far more deceptive. Evil wears a smile. It speaks with soft words, words that sound like care. It pretends to love, pretends to nurture, pretends to understand. But deep down, your soul knows the truth. Your energy feels the disturbance. Your peace does not lie. When your inner world is unsettled, there is always a reason. So remember this. Brother, a Stoic man does not waste energy hating the evil man. Hatred is still a form of attachment. Instead, he observes with clarity, then simply walks away. He does not allow poison to linger near his spirit. Because protecting your peace is not weakness, it is strength. To protect your peace is to honor your higher purpose. This is Stoic, true wisdom, space for clarity, for strength, and for sacred solitude. If this message touched something within you, if it gave you even a spark of insight, I invite you to support this journey. Like the video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Stoic Drift. Together, we build a brotherhood of men who walk the path of virtue, discipline, and unshakable purpose.